Yes, and welcome back to We Are the South Stand, second show of the day. Hold tight, everyone that caught the one earlier on with myself, Steve, and of course, Matisse. Hold tight, Matisse, for coming on, giving us the Chelsea perspective. But there was a lot, the show this morning, we spoke a lot about Chelsea mainly, and there's a lot that I need to get off my chest. I think there's a lot that my guests need to get off their chest. And do you know what? We're going to do this show every single Friday, City in it, different guests each week. I'll quickly go through. Yes, hold tight, Welsh Al, who just actually subscribed. So big love to you. Hold tight. Who else have I seen in here? Fraser in here as always. Yeah, I see a few people talking about this Nypan. We're going to have to talk on that. Hold tight, Space Cloud. Hold tight, Kathy. Hold tight, Linny. Linny, I've dropped you a message. I don't know if you've seen it. I need your full username, although I can now see it, so I can add you as a mod. So I will do that after the show. Hold tight, Dash as well. Yeah, that's right. Anyone watching this, make sure you subscribe. But I want to get my guests in. I'm going to introduce them one by one. And firstly, I am, in fact... Yeah, do you know what? Firstly, I'm going to get my good friend who's been taking a bit of time off. I catch him on streams every now and again. The one and only Hugh Murray. What are you saying, bro? I can't hear you. I think you might be on mute.
You can tell I've taken a bit of time off.
Taking time off. That's what it is.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm buzzing to make my debut on the new channel. It's great to see.
Good to have you here. Good to have you.
Another City channel arriving. So yeah, man, I'm delighted to be here.
We need more of them, don't we? We need more of them.
I think we do.
Well, we do. I know we do, because in the morning when I turn my laptop on, right, there's United channels that go at like 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. We're usually having to wait till midday till we get a City channel going live. So I think there does need to be more City content out there. But good to have you part of it. Good to have you involved. And next I will bring on another good friend of mine who I also have not seen for quite some time. What are you saying, Si?
Big up, mate. Big up.
Good
to see you. I'm good. Didn't even know that you did this new channel before you just mentioned it. So
I've been away. Do you think this was on Never a Foul?
Yeah, I was trying to find the link. I was like, it doesn't fixing the link. So no, big up for the new channel. Didn't know. Just subscribe.
Yeah, so
everyone
it's myself,
in the chat should subscribe.
It's myself and Steve that have started it. But the plan is to get as many City people on it as possible. Of course, I guess we label ourselves content creators, but it's not just for content creators. I prefer to call myself a fan, but I also want to get, and I'm speaking with a lot of other, people that haven't made content before. As an example, Ginger Wig, for one. Yeah, so knowledgeable, loves the club. But Hugh and I were speaking earlier. A lot of us City fans, we're bored of having to do content with fans of other clubs who just want to talk shit about us all the time and whatever. So, you know what? It's time that we get an echo chamber. Anyway, and last but no means least, I have seen him recently. I saw him in Paris. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel as well. It is Luke. What are you saying, bro?
No, then. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I've been home for longer than you, so I'm good.
I'm back today. I'm tired, but the grind doesn't stop. So,
absolutely. Right. So, the first thing I want to talk on is, because I keep seeing this name. Guys, who's everyone talking about? Because I'm not on Twitter at the moment, so I don't check Twitter. Who's Nypan?
It's a Norwegian guy, like
the young lad.
Old. Yeah,
the 18-year-old lad. Right, okay.
Sven Nypan,
right.
I think it's called.
Right. Okay. So, I'll come straight over to you.
Yeah. Is that because I'm Danish?
Absolutely. Well, no. It's because you're Scandinavian, bro.
Fair enough.
Look, I tell you what, if there was a Welsh player and I was on a panel, yeah, with all Scandinavians, would you go Daps? You might know a bit more about him, yeah?
100%. But I have to disappoint you, mate. I know nothing about this kid except that people more knowledgeable than me rate him. They're saying he's the next big thing. And now he has been making a few bangers these last couple of years. So, let's hope so. I don't know. I haven't seen him play. Oh, no, that's not true. I watched a small compilation a week or two ago of him, which was very good. But that's it. Know nothing else about him.
There we go. Herbal's giving us the deep dive on him. It's good in Football Manager. Anyone else know anything about him? Look, I'll be honest with you. When I've seen this, I saw it earlier on. I just see it as it's probably going to be one of those that is for the future. I don't think it's someone that's going to come straight in. Huey, would you disagree?
No, he's not. He's definitely not. I don't know. I saw Ornstein saying like half an hour ago that Arsenal are pushing very hard to get him as well.
Right.
Look, to be honest, I'm not too arsed about him. To be honest, like if we get him, cool. If we get him, cool, and down the line he turns out to be something great. If we don't, it is what it is. Like I'd rather start to see more information and news coming out about here and now midfielders. You know what I'm saying? Like respectfully, Nypan, you might be a big dog in a couple of years' time, but right now you're not what I need. You know what I'm saying? Like you're an 18-year-old from Rosenborg. Respectfully, it ain't what we need right now. I think like the business this window has been really good. Do you know what I mean? I think by all accounts so far, but there will be a part of me a little bit frustrated if we don't get a midfielder that's suited to right here, right now.
Huey, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You wouldn't be a little bit frustrated.
Nah, listen, you get called greedy, don't you? You get called greedy.
I'll be the one to say it then. I will be the one to say it. I'm pissed off, to be honest with you. Like, look, for me, Hayes, he's going to be one for the future. I think Pep wants him in and around the squad. I'd be flabbergasted if we see him start or we see him come on tomorrow, right? Flabbergasted. Khusanov and Marmoush will move on to. But we all know the run we've got coming up right now, right? We know the games we've got coming thick, hard, and fast. Pause, right? And that is not including the fact we might also have to play Champions League knockout games. We know the teams we've got to play. We know that we've needed a DM for months. I can't lie. I'm pissed off that we're going into this run of games without it being addressed. I am.
It's just reckless. It's just reckless, if you ask me. Like, it's a bit defeatist in the sense that I think if you don't go and get a proper midfielder now, you're sacrificing any possibility of whatever you can salvage this season. You know, we're going to talk about the Paris game, and that's fine. But the Paris game is to be expected. Like, I don't think you can come out of that Paris game and go, this is an absolute like shock. There's nothing shocking about it. It's disappointing. It's a bit embarrassing to be 2-0 up and lose 4-2. But with the way that the team has been for months and the glaringly obvious issues the team has, you can't come away and go, this is a massive shock. The board can't come away and go, this is a massive shock.
Spot on.
And I think if you add Marmoush, that's great. That is more firepower up front. That is more goals. But that's not the main issue, is it? Of course we need more goals because you can't rely on Haaland. But the midfield is getting ran through week in, week out. And that's something that we have the luxury of addressing now. And I'm not really sure where they're going with that. It looks like Douglas Luiz is probably the only one who's really linked properly at the minute.
Yeah. I look, that's the way I feel. It's frustrating because I saw a lot of after the game. Let's move on to Paris. Let's talk Paris first, right? Because that's relevant to this. First and foremost, would we all agree that we were lucky to be 2-0 up?
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't even know the second one went in.
Bro, I'm glad you... Right, me and Steve were looking at each other. We didn't know it had gone in.
I was delayed by about 20 seconds because I seen Haaland run off and I was like, has he missed to go and get the ball for the corner? And then I heard people celebrating and I was like...
Exactly that. That's the same where we were. We were exactly the same. And then all of a sudden we saw...
You hear that. I watched the highlights back and you can hear it. Like, you can't hear anything for like 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I think Haaland realizes that we don't know he scored, so he runs towards us.
Yeah, it was mad. It was mad. But I feel like, all right, Paris definitely were the better team in the first half. Having said that, we did have the chances. You know, we did have the Kevin De Bruyne chance.
Savino had a chance
Savio
that he
chance.
put Donnarumma.
But I think we were lucky to be 2-0 up.
Yeah, it was 2 chances on the break that we've just took our opportunity. Akanji does a mad run, gets into the box, and then we get the goal. And then the second one, is just a bit of a run of play against PSG for the first time that we've probably had.
It can be. You can say we're a bit fortunate to be 2-0 up, and we probably were. We probably were in the grand scheme of things. Doesn't matter though. You're in a position. You're 2-0 up, and a team with the supposed.
To be honest,
we
were fortunate to not be 1-0 down at halftime.
That's true. It's true.
But scandalous that VAR call.
My issue lies with the lack of ability to manage games. Do you know what I'm saying? And like that you can talk about that maybe once or twice and say, okay, we're not managing games properly. You can tweak things for the next time. But when it happens repeatedly, like most points we've dropped in the league have come from winning positions. You know how crazy that is? Like that shouldn't happen. So this is something where you have to look at and go, okay, it's no longer a tactical thing because it can't be just a tactical thing. I refuse to believe Pep Guardiola is consistently allowing this to be so wrong.
I think it's a mentality thing.
I think it's mentality, and I also think it's personnel. I don't think you can rely on, with all due respect to Gundo, to Kovacic, and to even De Bruyne in midfield to be running up and down for 90 minutes. You know, chasing players like João Neves, Vitinha, and these guys, seasoned midfielders.
You've taken it exactly where I wanted to go, right? And this is where I wanted to speak on the midfield. That I saw after the game that straight away people were saying, why was Kovacic brought off? Why was who else was brought off? Another midfielder was brought off. No, I know Diaz was brought off later in the game. But ultimately, right, where I'm going, people talk about De Bruyne and Kovacic when they're brought off, right? Now, the reason they are brought off is because they're having to put in the legwork of 25-year-olds when they're both over the age of 30, right? And this is the problem, that this will repeatedly happen until we get more cover in midfield, that we are putting everything on. I just mentioned De Bruyne and I mentioned Kovacic, who are both over 30, right? There's also Bernardo, who's also over 30. There's also Gundogan, who's also over 30, right? We're putting it all on them, and then we're wondering why their performances drop. Their performances are dropping because they're having to play so much game time at their age. That I said this last season. De Bruyne came back, looked great, but then towards the end of last season, he was dropping off because he was tired. Right.
To be honest, De Bruyne was the only one that looked like during PSG that he wanted to try and make an effort of something in the midfield.
But he was blowing out his arse, bro.
Oh yeah, towards the end, that's why he came off. But it's worrying when he's the one who's having to run everywhere.
But it's a great comment there from Sumo Dogs. Cover runs himself into the ground by 60 minutes. This is true. I have full respect for Kovacic. The guy works his arse off, but he's doing sometimes 2 and 3 people's jobs, getting up and down the pitch. Like De Bruyne at his age, you shouldn't be looking at De Bruyne and saying, you need to get back 60 yards and start defending with us. He's the kind of player that you say, you hang outside the box of our box, maybe the halfway line, we'll feed you the ball, you make something happen. And you have workhorses around them. Rodri's a workhorse, we don't have that. Kovacic is a workhorse, but he's gassed out doing so much by 60 minutes, and you're not going to ask Ilkay Gundogan to do it either. So the whole dynamic and balance of the midfield is totally off. Too many people trying to do too many jobs which they're physically not capable of doing. Which is why if you don't go and get a proper midfielder, one proper workhorse midfielder, I'm not even saying go and get a Bruno G. I'm not saying go get a Zubamendi. I'm saying get someone with legs who can just run around like a Duracell bunny for 90 minutes and support Kevin De Bruyne and allow him to do what he needs to do, because this is going to continue to be a car crash. And if we don't fix it, we're going to sit here in March, April, May going, where did it all go wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly that. And then, look, we all love Foden. It's great to see Foden over the last couple of weeks get back to what we expect from Foden. But the other thing is, Foden defensively, he can't offer much. He doesn't offer much. we saw it for England. Foden is used to playing the Pep system to a point that all he knows is keep the ball. When he loses the ball, Foden doesn't always look like he knows what he's doing and who to go with, who to run with. I don't know if you lot saw, but it was against Paris. Those diagonal balls on Kovacic were killing him. And then the diagonal balls on Nunes, because I think at one point, in the first half, didn't they switch Nunes and cover? Nunes and they switched Nunes at one point to the other side.
Was it Rico? Was it when Rico came on?
Yeah. That's it.
Second half, because Barcola was having a field day against Nunes.
But Bo, this is right. Listen to what we're saying here. This is the frustrating thing. Barcola, Dembele.
I rate Dembele though, and I still will to this day when he's not.
I rate both of them. You're putting Dembele and Barcola up against
I get where you're going.
And Rico Lewis, right? Who neither of them are fullbacks. And you're putting great wingers against two players that are not fullbacks.
It wasn't even that though. I think it was like Hugh said, with the midfield being kind of unrecognisable and incompatible, shall I say. When you've got a midfield that one is a deep liar like Vitinha, who is world class. You've got João Neves, who you could probably attest to this. I don't think I didn't see a blade of grass that he didn't touch during that game. He was incredible. And that makes me more and more realise that is probably the one we should have signed. Yeah. Because he was everywhere.
If we look at this comment here, we don't have an actual fullback at the club, right? And then here's the issue. We've just mentioned Kimmich. Now, I'll be honest, I'd take Kimmich. But are we not just adding to the issue if we go get Kimmich isn't a fullback either?
He can't play. It's a short-term issue for a long-term vision, really. It's like Douglas Luiz.
By the way, I'm not saying we should go out and buy 4 fullbacks. I'm not. Right.
I have no issue. I have no issue with playing players as fullback or centre half who are vice versa.
I see Khusanov
if they're a centre back and you put them full back, fine. If they're full back and you put them centre back, fine. Yeah. But it has to be an extremely skilled and high IQ footballer to do so. Like a Kimmich, like a Vardiol. Vardiol is capable of doing it, and he has shown he's doing it, but he's doing a lot right now and he looks tired. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to burst the bubble or be too critical of the guy, but Nunes isn't a good enough footballer to do that for us right now. No. I'm not saying that if Pep persisted with it, he couldn't turn him into, a much better player like he's done with Zinchenko and he's done with even Fabian Delph to an extent.
I don't think it's a case of he's a bad footballer. I won't agree with that.
He's just not good enough for City.
He's not good enough for us. And
I've seen at times at right back he has done well.
He was stinking going forward. Going forward, he was stinking. Absolutely rotten.
Huey, what you just said there, hold tight Imran and all of the blue, I think there's the Blue Crescent fan base that was sat around me and Steve at Paris. They made a really good point. Nunes' best part of his game is going forward, right? That's position-wise, the best part of his game should be going forward. But we're not seeing the best part of his game going forward. So if we're not seeing that, we've given him nearly, a year and a half now. He's not good enough for City. He's not.
I do think more and more it was a panic buy in the long run.
Same.
I think they've panicked finding a replacement. But for me, I think he has had spells at right back where he has been solid. But the only thing that frustrates me is, for example, the goal.
What spells at right back is? Hold on. What spells at right back?
No, like not saying spells as in like long couple of
what,
games.
You mean like 20 minutes in a game?
Yeah. There has been more than 20 minutes.
Come on, what are we doing?
What I'm saying is one thing that is highly frustrating with him is these cynical kind of pushes here and there that you can't afford to do as a right back. Yeah. And then diving into things which, as we've seen from the goal against Dembele's goal, he's been absolutely turned. It reminded me of the Vinicius Junior one against Fernandinho, because he's flew in and then he's just absolutely turned him. And then I think we were 3 against 3. And then it's just, but in the long run, it's, no, I'm not.
But, he's joking, Bo. He's joking.
But, at the end of the day, like, as Pep said, there has been moments where he has performed well, as he said in his press conference.
Yeah, but we
back.
can't be taking 20 and 30 minutes. Put me on a right back. I'll give you 15 minutes.
I'd say 15 seconds.
I'd say literally 10 seconds, to be fair. Yeah. I'll be blowing up my ass. But you know what I mean? We come. This where we are? Is this where we are?
The quality that we expect as a club now. Yes. Yeah, we deserve better. Like, we not deserve, that's the wrong word. But
for me, looking at the fullbacks of Manchester City over the years, I think you have to be really technically good. And I think
if you get Cambiasso in, that is an incredible one.
It is. But I'm talking about Nunes. I'm talking about Nunes. Do you know what I mean? Nunes. He's not technically good enough. Nunes' biggest asset is he's a powerful runner through the middle of the park. He carries the ball well, but the fullback for Manchester City has to read the game a lot better and has to be a lot more technically gifted than what Nunes actually has. You have to be able to link up. You have to be able to do 1-2s. You have to be able to overlap, underlap. It's too complex for Matheus Nunes, and he just doesn't. As of right now, he just doesn't have it in his locker, and it's just not what we need moving forward.
He has the pace, but not the positional awareness as a fullback.
Or the technical ability.
But,
you know what I'm saying?
We're talking...
If we don't sign Cambiasso, it'll be Khusanov at right back.
Yeah, probably definitely will. I think that will be for the Chelsea game, but we're talking a lot about the midfield in this game. Any of us, if let's say Dias don't get injured, and we still score the 2 goals we scored, do you think we'll get a point or even a win from that game?
Did you say Nunes or Dias?
Dias. If he's not injured, I go out at half time. Yeah, he plays the full match, and we still get the 2 goals. Don't you think, even though our midfield was ran through, don't you think that having him organizing the defense, do you think that third goal happens when Dias is in the...
Right, can we speak about that third goal? Because I was livid in the... Luke,
I don't think that happens.
Luke, could you see it? Because we were sat on the same side, right? Could you see the free kick? Could you see how much fucking we couldn't pick him up?
Jean Neves was on everyone's blind side.
Bro, I'm sorry.
No, but I'm saying someone's got to pick that up and turn and look at him.
And this is where he's miles away. He's free. But this is probably where side's spot on. You saying he's on everyone's blind side. I hear that, right?
Stones doesn't pick him up. It's Stones who's got to follow him.
No one picked him up. Stones had just come on the pitch. To be fair to Stones, he had literally just come on the pitch. But the whole thing is, as a team, I understand he was on his blind side. Surely everyone knows free kicks, you make sure that there's no one on your blind side.
No, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, how has a player that small managed to not be picked up?
It was insane. But I do agree with you, Si. The minute Dias came off, when the second half came out, I said,
trouble.
We ain't keeping a clean sheet now. There's not a chance in hell. I've said for months, I don't think the final collapse would have happened with Ruben there. I don't think the Sporting collapse would have happened with Ruben there. I don't think the Man United collapse would have happened with Ruben there. But boys, guess what? Ruben's out, and we don't know how long for.
Yeah. Well, getting Hayes and Khusanov in will definitely help our center back issues with injuries this season, because now with them we can actually give players time to get fit again before they're thrown in for 90 minutes in the game, which is what's been happening all season. They get injured, they come back, we have to throw them straight in because the other center back just got injured, and then they get injured again, and then it just keeps on repeating the cycle. So hopefully getting those 2 in will help us manage reoccurring injuries.
Yeah. Before we move on to the new signings,
I think with Ruben Dias, though, before you move on, I think it depends what grade tear it is. If it's
100%.
If it's a grade 3, he's out for months. If it's grade 1,
I think 2 or
3.
I think I was speaking with Cass.
It'll be 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was speaking with Cass, who plays a bit of football, and he was saying by the fact that he played through till half time.
It'll be a grade 1. It'll be a 2. It'll be a couple of weeks.
Grade 1.
It won't be.
But look, 2 weeks. You're still going to be missing the Chelsea game. Probably still going to be missing. Who we got after Chelsea? Is it Arsenal after
Bruges?
Arsenal?
No, we got Chelsea, Bruges,
Arsenal. So he's going to be missing
Orient.
So he's going to be missing Bruges and Arsenal at very least, right? And they're 2. Well, sorry, Chelsea, Bruges, Arsenal at very least. 3 important games. But before we move on to maybe some positives. In fact, no, we're going to try and move on to some positives. Are there any positives that you guys saw in the Paris game? Actually, real quick, people, make sure you're hitting the like button. Don't know what the likes are on, but I'm just going to say they're probably not high enough. So please, please, please smash the like button. What that will do is basically help the algorithm. It will push this video out to more Man City fans, and then there'll be more people to chat amongst yourselves in the comments. And I'm trying to go through the comments as I can. But yeah, Huey, over to you first. Positives. Did you see any positives in the PSG game?
Yeah. I think there's positives that carried on from the Ipswich game, because I mainly saw them come to life in the Ipswich game. I think going forward, the attackers are starting to find a lot more confidence, and there's a bit of morale and chemistry starting to build amongst the attackers. Like, Savinho, I've been really impressed with all along, but I think he's starting to find his feet properly recently. Haaland obviously getting amongst the goals again, great for him. Foden, obviously, De Bruyne. Like, I think the attack is looking okay, and you throw Marmoush in there, it'll be good. I think it has the potential to be really good. So that's about it, really, because all the other issues are still there. Nothing's changed.
Saw yourself?
Sorry?
Any positives you take from the PSG game?
From that game itself, not really. I don't really think any aspects of how we play that game is something I want to see against either Chelsea, Bruges, or Arsenal. Because if that happens, I don't think we win any of those. So I've been seeing positives in the last month or so, but from that game itself, can't really remember anything from it, which is something I would like to build upon.
No. Luke.
I think it's just the reiteration of what Hugh said. Like, there is, positives in the attacking third. I think it's just we look good going forward, and then it's just this kind of switch in midfield where when we get caught in transitions. Other than that, I think, if we sort the midfield out, the defense would look a lot better because they're not at much risk. But the positives are that we somehow managed to get 2 goals at Paris, even though me and you said we didn't have a clue how we got them in terms of the second one, at least. Anyway, but I just think it's just the positives we've got to look at is we're looking to start better going forward. Kevin De Bruyne slowly coming back. I still think he's at like 60% of his best, which is scary for the rest of the league if he switches it on. Savinho is probably one of our best attackers at the minute, which says something.
But can you not see the concern with De Bruyne that the longer we keep playing him for?
Yeah, 100%. Because if you're starting to expect everything to go through him and him putting the energy in, as we said, 30-plus-year-old central midfielder, he's not expected to be doing that. And sooner or later, with the injuries that he's had recently, in terms of the groin injury, then the hamstring that he's had surgery on last season, could something just reoccur and cause him some more long-term damage? But I think in playing at 60%, he turns up for the big games as well, like Chelsea. So I'm positive that it'll click for him.
Like a game
Saturday,
against Chelsea, you're right. He does
exactly, and there'll be some minutes. I've got no doubt there'll be minutes for Marmoush tomorrow, no matter what the result is. I think
we'll move on to that shortly. Look, I do agree. I do wholeheartedly agree with everyone on we sort out the midfield, and all of a sudden everything looks a lot better. Anyone that came to Paris are probably sick of me chewing their ear off with this because I think I said it to everyone. But all you have to do is just look at Liverpool the season after they won the league, right? Van Dijk got injured, but Liverpool carried on winning games, right? It was when Henderson and Fabinho also got injured. Now, people will all say, Rodri, the issue is Rodri. Now, I don't necessarily think you're wrong that if we had Rodri, we would be in a damn sight better place. However, it is also a fact that we carried on we're winning games while Rodri wasn't playing at the start of the season. After Rodri got injured against Arsenal, we went on a 7-game unbeaten run, winning 6 of them and drawing the other, right? The problem is Kovacic then got injured, right? The problem is Diaz then got injured. Stones was injured. I think Akanji had a period out.
Yeah.
But it's those three for me. It's Rodri, Diaz, and Kovacic. If you're missing all three of them, it's a difficult day.
It's a culmination, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of all different injuries in different departments of the squad. And then what that does to the rest of the squad for the season, the accumulation of minutes each other player have to play, which just makes them more tired physically and mentally. So yeah, it's just a shit season. As Pep said, we have to suffer. This season is a season to suffer. And only way out of it if we buy a defensive midfielder here in Jan, but it's not really looking like it, is it?
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Huey, do you think we get one? I think we do.
I think we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think we do. It's probably not going to be whoever it wants, but I'd rather someone than no one. Someone who's a decent age and has a decent track record of fitness, first of all, because that's been a massive killer for the team. But second of all, just the ability to get up and down the pitch. Just a midfielder who can add to physical presence, because midfield has no physical presence. Absolutely none right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we would like the successful City teams over the last 10 years. So something we always had was we would dominate midfields, like physically and tactically dominate. Now they're non-existent. So,
bro, I remember Vinny saying, I think it was on Rio's podcast, saying we always loved to play Manchester United because we just knew physically we were specimens compared to them. Like, and sorry, I really don't. Right, I'm going to say I don't want to single a player out, but I am going to. I love him. I feel for him because I don't believe we have got to see him in his real position. It's Rico Lewis, right? Now, I think Rico Lewis is a midfielder. Well, we know Rico Lewis is a midfielder, right? For me, when you see Rico Lewis playing a more advanced role, we see the best of Rico Lewis, right? I think Rico Lewis is technically extremely good, but Rico Lewis is not physical enough to play as a right back. He's not physical enough to play as a left back.
He's a luxury player. That's what it is, Dabs. When we're playing good, it's good to have him in the squad and in the team. But when we're not playing good, he's not the guy to put in the team.
Yeah,
and it's not hate on him. That's just true.
It's not.
I think it's true, but I think it's what a young player should be. I think at this day and age, and I felt like this for ages, the overhyping and the over-analyzing of players below 21, 22, 21 is ridiculous. Players like Rico Lewis, players like Oscar Bob, and these kind of guys, they should not be looked at and gone, you need to be able to change the game for us. The whole star boy mentality has blown people's ideas out of the water of what a young player should be. Star boy this, star boy that. A star boy is generational. One will come along every so often, a Wayne Rooney and someone, an Mbappe who will light the place up. But young players, for the most part, Mainu, Diallo, Lewis, who's the other one? Bob, loads of them. You should not look at them and glamorize them too much too soon. Like, look at poor Kobe Mainu. The guy's 18, 19, went off to the Euros. The United fans talking about him like he's the next Roy Keane. Now he's not getting the team sheet, and they're talking about selling him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not good for development.
Really good point, to be fair.
It's not good for development. It's not good for the morale of the player. And that's why we see so many of our young players from Manchester City. They go away. They go away and they play for other clubs and they thrive. They do really well and they have great careers. But that's because they left. Because if they stay at Manchester City, everyone's going to look at them and go, you have to be in Foden, Saka, Palmer conversations. It's not right. It's not normal.
Yeah. I think that's a good point.
I feel for Lewis because he's technically brilliant and he could be brilliant, but everyone's looking at him going, you're not Kyle Walker, you're not Kevin De Bruyne, so you're not Man City standard. Of course he's fucking not.
But do you know what? And I think, I don't know if you guys saw what Pep said the other day where he said, when we get out of this period, there's going to be players that I remember forever, right? Players that were playing out of position, playing through injuries. And I have no doubt that Rico is one of them. Is one of my big frustrations is that Rico came through the academy as a midfielder, right? Whenever we see Rico fall in the final third of the pitch, I honestly believe he's a box-to-box. I honestly believe Rico Lewis's best position is box-to-box. It's frustrating seeing him there, but it's more so, it kind of tells you where we are at the moment because he's not physical enough. And we hear, he's good at judo or whatever, and people presume because of that he's good, he's physical enough. He's not a physical player. He's a technical player. right? Technical players should not be, for me, playing at right back. But, right, let's move on. There is one player, 265 people in here. Make sure, if you haven't already, you've hit the like. And anyone that's asking to become a mod, please message me on Instagram. You can either message We Are the South Stand on Instagram, or you can message myself, MCFC Daps. Alternatively, you can email me, wearetheSouthStand@gmail.com, I believe it is. Or it might be .co.uk. Email both of those. I will be doing the mods afterwards. I'll be going through and setting some up. The Liverpool fan that somehow found his way in here and wanted to tell us about us being in denial is now in denial timeout. So don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on it. Right, but Marie Clark, lovely to see you. The lovely Marie. Marie Clark, I will remember. I will make you a mod. I'll remember you. It's great to have you on the channel. Right. So while we're talking right backs, now we can move on to new signings. We'll save Marmoush for a little while. Anyone here know much about Hayes or about Khusanov?
Nada.
Nothing, bro. No, bro. I don't know them. I won't be disingenuous. I know nothing about them before we were linked to them.
Luke?
I wouldn't say I know much. I had to do some research for a collab I did with Manchester Iconic.
I've done a bit of research as well, yeah. Well, let's start with... would we agree, Luke, that Hayes is likely to be in and around the squad? I think, in fact, Pep said it today, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah, I'd be very, very surprised if you see him consistently. I think Leyton Orient might be a chance where you see him for minutes.
Good point. Really good point.
But not in this run of games. I think out of the two, you are probably looking more at Khusanov to get minutes. The difficulty with him is, one, he doesn't speak English. Two, he cannot speak any other language that then corresponds with anyone in the squad. So is there a concern, like Pep mentioned in his press conference, that he has to pick up English very, very quickly?
Do you know what he does speak?
Brute
physicality.
Force.
Physicality is what he fucking speaks. I don't know, bro.
Brute.
The guy's a unit. Now, I have no doubt he's going to pick up.
And he is fucking rapid as well.
Bro, you seen that
37 kilometers an hour. And to put that into context, the record Premier League sprint was Mickey van der Ven last season at 37.38 kilometers an hour.
Have you seen the clip of him getting back?
That's the clip, 30, at 37
insane.
Kilometers.
Absolutely. Now, for me, he can play on the left or the right. I think he's going to come in. I'm hoping, I'm praying tomorrow he is playing right back. I hope we start with, let's go back to 4 centre-backs, right?
Yeah.
Vardio on the left. It's probably going to have to be a Kanji and Stones in the middle.
Yeah.
I will just fall in love with Khusanov the second that he fucking smashes into Sancho or Palmer or someone. Like, if he's on that pitch, if he does that instantly, I will fall in love with the guy.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I see Mick, MLK, sorry, you're saying Khusanov and Stones in the middle. Pep seems to never favouring players instantly in the middle, whether it be up top, whether it be in the middle, or it be at the back. I think the reason with that is, if you're in the middle and you make a mistake, there's no one covering you, right? I also think if you're in the middle, him and Stones, if you can't speak a word of English, I can't see how that's going to work. Good. I want to see him on the right. I think if we go back to when we play with 4 centre backs, it works. I don't know. That's my thoughts. But I want to see him start. I don't want to see him come on as a sub. I think where we are, I think we have to throw him in at the deep end. Sorry?
I was looking at what odds I could get for Khusanov yellow tomorrow, but I can't really find it. I would play a backline of Khusanov, Stones, Akanji, and Gvardiol, and then I would invert Stones into midfield to try to give a bit of physicality in there and a bit of stability to help Kovacic and Bernard, who I would also play. That would mean that Khusanov would be our right center back in the back three, which is where I think is his most preferred position. And with his speed, I think that would be the way to go tomorrow if we also to counter Madueke and Neto on the wings, who has a lot of pace.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, just quickly, is Ake still injured?
Yeah, I think so. Not hurt his back, but I'm not sure.
Luke,
Huey, you seen anything on Ake?
No idea. I just assume him, Diaz, and Stones are always injured. They just take turns.
But I'm not going to lie, Diaz has been really, yeah. But it's got getting to that point with Diaz now, isn't it?
Especially the injuries where the areas of the injuries they are like. Let's put two and two together. I don't blame him.
It's what it is. But yeah. So someone thought Khusanov was a centre back. He is a centre back, but we have no fullbacks.
I think he's a centre back that's predominantly played. I'd be very interested to see if he does play centrally, how he deals it in a back three, because he has predominantly only ever played in like kind of a back two with traditional fullbacks rather than a Pep system. But he's been training for over a week now, so it could be very, very interesting to see if he's picked it up already. But yeah,
I reckon we see 2 out of 3 of the lads. I reckon we see Khusanov and Marmoush. I
don't think you see Marmoush start
from the start.
No. I think you see him though, a debut.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think the energy that he brings, not just kind of the attacking output, but actually the physicality of running around a lot as well, is going to be a breath of fresh air too, because he seems to get back defensively as well in comparison to say Doku. If Doku he's not available, but I'm just like as a comparison. And Savinho is lackluster at times. He does do it quite often, but there is times where he does get caught out as well. So
Luke, Huey, do you think we see either of them start, or?
I think if any of them are to start, it's most likely the Khusanov fella. Basically off the fact that there's no fucking players available. I'm saying like Stones isn't fit. Let's be real.
It's so clear, isn't it? Yeah.
He's available. He's available. But if we had a stacked squad right now, you wouldn't see Stones for another month. You wouldn't, because you need to recover properly.
Diaz went off at half time, and we didn't bring Stones on, so that kind of tells you Stones is not fit. We brought in Rico Lewis instead.
I think you could see Khusanov start. There's a chance he could. He was the first of the 3 to start training with City anyway. I think he's there over a week now, probably training.
Yeah.
I think you do see Marmoush come on in the second half, because I think there's nothing to lose from bringing Marmoush on. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna lower the standards on the pitch, but he's also going to bring on a goal threat as well. So I think there's no harm in bringing Marmoush on.
But he's not in a position to detriment it either.
No, I don't think you see the Brazilian kid though. I don't.
I don't. I think Luke made a good point. I think the Leyton Orient game's spot on for that.
Yeah. For him to start, maybe even. I just found the odds for Khusanov getting a yellow. It's 5 times the money. That's a safe bet, guys. I don't promote gambling, but that's a lock. It's a lock.
You go and look at him. I'm pretty certain I saw something where he's got the most red cards in his league or something like that.
5 times your money back on a yellow for Khusanov. His first game against Chelsea.
But am I the only one that's here, saying I don't mind that? It would be nice for us to have one of them in the team again.
As Roy Keane famously said, I just felt like smashing someone. So.
And by the way, that's how we pronounce it. Thank you for that. So it's Khusanov.
Okay. Do you remember Vinny talking about his first game ever for City? And he was like, I didn't know any lads. I barely spoke any English, but I was just going to go out there and smash someone so everyone get to know me.
It's Andy Morrison vibes all over.
Just go out there like no one's expecting Khusanov to be, a technically magical footballer just yet, but make your presence felt, son. Do you know what I'm saying? You're here now. You're no more loans back to Lens or anything like that. Just go out there. This is your home.
We need it without Diaz. We need someone who we need another defender where we have a luxury with defenders like John Stones and that who want to be ball playing centre halves. But when we lose Diaz, yes, sometimes we have Ake, who is a very, very good one-on-one defender, but we just need someone who actually enjoys defending.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And I think Khusanov is that alternative to be like, right, I just want to defend the box. Don't care how I pass the ball. just defend that 18-yard box. And
someone who the other team is afraid of, right? Someone they will hurt themselves on.
Just a physical specimen, yeah. Just because the fact of the matter is as well, if we get caught in transition and you have someone who's as fast, if not faster than Van der Ven.
Yeah.
I think when you play Van der Ven as well, it does, like, every time I see Van der Ven line up against us, I'm like, no one's getting past him today.
Have you ever tried, you know the feeling when you run really quick and you have someone chasing you and you don't know what they want to do, right? We need someone like that because when that happens, you run slower. And if you're being chased by Khusanov, you will start thinking, is this crazy guy going to break my leg from behind or something? We need someone like that. Because right now, when they see a Stones chasing you, they're like, nice fella.
I'm more likely to break his leg than he is mine.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stop and take a break, but I'm looking forward to it, man.
It is that bad with Stones now. When Stones is on the pitch, I'm just waiting for him to get injured. And it's really, do you know what? I had this before Diaz arrived. I remember the summer before the summer Diaz arrived, I was having a chat because I just started doing podcasting. I was having a chat with Ty, who I started the channel with, who was a United fan, and I made an agreement with him that I think it was Stones with us, and it was who was the guy with them? Who was their centre back that always got injured? He was good, but he always got injured.
Who for? Sorry,
Phil Jones.
No, for United.
What year are we talking? 2017?
We're talking about 2020, 2021. Bye, Eric Bye. Thank you. Bro, spot on. Clinical, my G. Eric Bye, right? And I said, we're going to make an agreement, right? I agree that if Stones cannot stay fit this season, I'm done with him, right? Because the problem is, defense is all about partnerships, right? And when you've got a player constantly injured, there's no routine. Now, Stones actually went on with Diaz to have the best season, right? Was hardly injured, and it was one of those ones. Bailly carried on, and obviously they got rid of him. But Stones got back to that now, where it's so unreliable. Where I can see him going in the summer. He leaves as a cult hero. You know, he's unplayable when he's fit, but it's all the time, isn't it?
Yeah. We can.
Well, I think with Stones, I worked it out over an average of a season since he's been at the club. He's been available for 29 games a season.
In all competitions.
Competitions, which if you work it out as a centre-back, if you're one of the first choices, you're looking at roughly around 40 to 50 games a season.
Yeah.
His highest Premier League appearances in a season, including off the bench, is 24. Including off the bench.
Mad.
That's not good enough.
That's his best.
That's his best, including sub appearances off the
24.
bench. Yeah,
that's crazy. But what that also does, when we have so many players that constantly get injured, it just like the amount of pressure and toll it takes on all the other players just increases. We can't have that anymore. I love Stones, but this summer, it's like either he can be a squad player.
Do you know what we need
for the last season of his contract? But
it's whether anyone's going to take the punt on him.
Do you know what we really could do with? You know what we could really do with? I'm Eric.
Oh, what a guy, man! We should have kept him.
Should have kept him.
No club in Europe wanted him.
Bro, it's mad. Bro, it's absolutely
Laporte.
insane.
Oh, yeah.
Laporte, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, and the thing is, if you look at who we got rid of that summer, you know, we'll all talk on Mahrez. We all spoke on Gundo. Laporte, it's gone below the radar, you know. We don't speak on how important he was. The fact that if you think for that period, we had Diaz or Laporte, and the important thing with Laporte was Laporte could lead a line, right? If Diaz wasn't there, Laporte could step up and lead a line. And that's something I think we're missing. Without Diaz, no one else can lead a line. So just
Laporte was starting every game. He'd have played every game this season if he was
there. Well, let's be real, bro. He did. Back into that season against Liverpool, he played through with injuries, didn't he?
Played on one leg, man. Remember that West Ham game, the 2-2 against West Ham away? He played on one leg.
The Wolves game the weekend before that, when we beat them 4-1, the same thing.
He missed the Euros, didn't he? Because of playing through injury. He refused
to. I can't
he wasn't
do that.
able
Can
to
anyone?
go
Here we go. Can anyone do it? Well, I don't know.
And he loves City as well, Laporte. He loves City.
He loved City. He loved us. He loved us. Bro, I'm not going to lie. You see that arm celebration he does? If Stones did that, he'd get injured. Yeah,
That's true, bro. That's true. I did a lineup for tomorrow, right? And I put Stones in it. And the first comment was, "Watch 39 minutes tomorrow. Stones injured again."
There's a bet side. What are the odds he goes off injured?
Oh, that can't be a high odds, bro.
You'd
like
lose
maybe
money.
120.
You'd owe money for what you put on. You put a tenner on, you'd owe an extra $5.
209. Here we go. I was about to say, people, we keep getting close to the 300 mark, which is sensational. You know what? The channel's been going for about 10 days to be hitting 300s. Also, with no redirects as well. So this is 300 people watching. Big love to every single one of you. Please make sure you are subscribing and hitting that like button. Let's see if we can get it a little bit further. Everyone's saying about super chats and about memberships and all of that. You have to become monetized to get that. You have to hit a certain level of watch time hours. We're over the subs, way over the subs already. Watch time hours. We've just cleared about, I think, before this show, we've done 2 shows and we've cleared about 1,300 watch time hours. So we've got another 1,700 to go. Give it another couple of weeks. But listen, we're just happy you're all here with us. So let's move on to Marmoush and tomorrow's game. So do you know what? I think Marmoush is going to be special for us, you know. I think he really is. And I'm intrigued to see what happens with him, because you think where he is, coming from the Bundesliga, the goals and assists he's got. I think the last time we got someone from the Bundesliga that was sitting on that many goals and assists, it was De Bruyne, wasn't it?
Well, what's he on now for the season? 19, Marmoush.
He's actually got more GA than Harry Kane.
He's on like something like 33 goals and assists in like 24 games.
Yeah, it's around that.
I'm gassed about him. I think it's
like 19 goals and 14 assists. So it's not as if
I think he's a sick signing, man. I think he's good. He's one of those players that you just feel. I'd be shocked if it doesn't work out. Brilliant.
I like his confidence. I like his confidence in his interview when I listen to it.
100%. Do you know what? Yes, his interview comes across like a Ruben. Remember when Ruben joined us? The interview, the Ruben Dias interview, where straight away he was like, "All you need to know is I care about winning." Marmoush just said the same thing. That's what we need. We need a young breed. And do you know what? One of the reasons why I think we got Marmoush this window is because, and this is where I do credit the board, I think the board knows what we need to address. The fact they've gone and got 2 defenders, I think they do know that. But I think the board knew if we wait till the summer, Marmoush will be gone. Or if not gone, we're going to be paying 100 million, because it's a fact. If he ended the season the way he started this season, they're going to be demanding 100+ million. There's going to be other teams in for him. I think this guy is our next. I'm not going to say that he's going to come in and do De Bruyne like numbers. I'm not, but I think he's going to be our next 10. I do.
He's going to bring Alvarez numbers.
It's the ideal Alvarez replacement.
Yeah,
bro. I'll be real. I'll be completely 100 with you, bro. Listen, Alvarez, amazing, but for me, Alvarez. He
wanted to be the number 9, and he's got that chance at Atletico.
And he's not 10. Marmoush, looks like he can do the 10 role for me. And do you know what? The amount of space he is going to make Haaland, right? Because he makes runs that drags players. I've seen a few bits, right, where 4 or 5 players will be going towards him, and then he'll just pop the ball through to someone else. So I'm excited to see Marmoush. But whether we'll see him tomorrow or not, what are we expecting, lads, tomorrow? Be honest. Be honest here.
Like result-wise or what? Result-wise?
Result-wise. What we going with here?
I reckon lots of goals. Lots of goals.
3. If we're doing things correctly and no Bosa moments, I think we win 3-2. and no Bosa moments, it's
no Bosa
big ass.
Nunes better not be on the pitch then. Fuck me.
I think we can win it. I think we can win it.
Huey?
I just think there'll be loads of fucking goals. Absolutely loads them. I think you could see another 3-3-4-4 style like there was at Stamford Bridge. Whether we come out on the right end of that, you can't put your money on City right now. You just can't. There is a world where Chelsea come beat us 3-0. There's a world where we beat them 3-0, and there's a world where it's 3 each. It's mental. As a neutral, I think it's going to be an unbelievable game. But as a City fan, you're going to be sitting there kind of going, are these guys trustworthy at the minute? I don't know.
Yeah, but they have a lot of injuries in midfield as well. Lavia, Caicedo, Fernandes, and all that. So I'm
now apparently Enzo's back.
Yeah, but
for
me, it's Lavia and Caicedo.
I'm pretty certain Caicedo's back as well.
Really? I heard someone say that all 3 of them was out for this game. And if that's true, then our midfield actually have a chance. If not, we're in big trouble.
I think it might be worth seeing what Maresca's comments were earlier today, maybe.
He definitely said that Enzo's in the squad. I don't know about Caicedo. I'm pretty certain when I spoke to Matisse this morning, he thought that Enzo and Lavia were doubts, but that Caicedo would be in there.
Someone just said in the chat, I thought Matisse said Caicedo was out.
So I think I'm pretty certain Caicedo and Enzo will be there.
Shit.
Yeah, and that's what worries me. Look, we have to look at their form though, and their form going into this game isn't great. I think they've won 1 of their last 6, I believe it is.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, there we go. Caicedo and Enzo fit. Thank you. But look, it's the start of a tough run. We have to get this one done. I think Pep said it. This is judgment time, really and truly. We get through February, and all of a sudden, things can start looking a lot rosier. We're going to have players coming back. Our fixtures get a lot easier, touch wood. Rodri's not there tomorrow. I believe Rodri is actually over in America now. I think he flew out to America after PSG. But yeah, I'm a little concerned for tomorrow. I'm not going to lie, but you know what? I think Khusanov could make a difference. I'm putting a lot of faith in this Khusanov guy. I really am, because I think he could come in and be quite a pivotal person for us in this second half.
We've had it with other centre halves, haven't we? Like
Laporte
going back to Laporte in January, and that debut was what forever made me fall in love with the guy. And could it be?
I can't remember the last centre half that we signed that we looked at and said he's just not good enough. We have a brilliant track record in signing centre backs. Do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe Eric Garcia or someone like that. You could go back a bit.
It's probably Mangala.
Yeah, okay. Well, Garcia came slightly after.
Mangala's a crazy anomaly, though.
But you know what? You know what? Here's the mad thing. Mangala's first game, correct me if I'm wrong,
Chelsea.
Was against Chelsea.
Just one thing. I have to bow, guys. But
yeah, love for
thank
coming
you for the stream. Thank you, guys.
We're going to redirect to where you're going right now, anyway. So
no, you're going to redirect to Luke.
Oh, we redirecting to Luke.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
But
cool.
See you soon in Manchester. Brighton game.
We will do 100%. Sorry, is that in the chat?
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, Luke. Yeah, I hadn't seen that. Let me just edit this really quickly. Just move you to the middle. There we go. That'll do. Mangala's first game was against Chelsea, and Mangala was absolutely mint in that game. It was what followed afterwards that it was a bit different. So yeah. Luke, anything else you want to speak on just while I set this up for you, young man?
Oh, I'm young.
Compared to me, you are.
I haven't heard that one for a while. I think I know it's shit at the minute with the results, and I'm going to be called a happy clapper for this, but I'm quite enjoying it for some reason. I don't know what it is. I think it's just that
you're enjoying it.
I'll tell you what it is. There's now a lot of jeopardy on each game, which we haven't experienced for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's that, but
we're
also
now going to every single game.
Yeah,
unsure if we're going to win, lose, or draw.
And I think it's an excitement where handling the bad times kind of makes you grateful for what we've had over the last 2 or 3 years.
It's certainly it is.
I'm not saying I'm going back to like York away and stuff like that, but like what I'm saying is like, before Pep, we had matters of inconsistency in terms of Pellegrini would win it 1 year, then we'd come at 4th. The same with Mancini.
I mean, this is a truth. This is a song that when we sing this at the moment, I'm happy singing this, right? I'm more than happy singing this. I'm not going to lie. Edison and Aki, Walker and Akanji, Ruben Dias, Johnny Stones, best defense in Europe. I do not partake in that song anymore. It's done my fucking head in that we're singing that this season, right? And it's probably one of our most used chants. And when we sing it, I'm thinking, come on, man, we can't be singing this no more. But I do hear where you're coming from, Luke, about I think it's a reality check that's great. I can't say I'm enjoying it, though. I can't.
I think enjoying it's the wrong word. I think it's just there's something about it where I'm like, when it comes back to good times, we'll look back on this and giggle and be like, what were we worrying about? You know, it all depends on what happens towards the end of this transfer market. And for me, when you obviously mentioned, do you think we get a DM? I think if we sign Cambiasso within enough time, if it's in January, I see it more being the summer. Like agreed now for the summer, but I do think there is.
We're going back to where we started here. I think, Huey, you probably agree with me on this. If we're currently spending our time and efforts getting Cambiasso over the line in the summer and not dealing with
I think it's more agreeing a fee for the summer to then say, right, can we have Douglas Luiz for 6 months?
While we're here. While we're having this chat. Right, okay.
Because I think we've gone in for Douglas Luiz. From what reports were saying, we've gone in for Douglas Luiz on a 6-month loan. Juventus want an obligation to buy, but City are reluctant to do so.
Sorry. Riku, are you Steve in disguise? Because Steve has been non-stop this while we've been in Paris, been going on about this. We're the only fan base that we score a goal and all of a sudden burst into Yaya Toure, right? We do. We're the most. With the amount of times this season I've heard Johnny Stones ring round. We've hardly seen him all season. We are the most bizarre fan base. We really are with our chants.
I think the Jacko one is the weirdest one. Why we still sing the Jacko?
No, you know what? You know why that is though. That is because.
Why?
That is because Gerrard slipped, Suarez cried, the Scousers' dream has fucking died. It's the start of it, right? But I had nightmares going into the Champions League final because I was thinking we are a fan base that for the last 10 years have constantly been singing about fucking Edin Dzeko and watch him pop up and score one against us.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, we'll leave it here. Appreciate you all. Well, both of you two coming on, and of course, Si as well. Huey, great to catch up with you. Luke, you're same with yourself. Luke, you've got a show now, right, on your channel?
Yeah, it's just kind of catching back up because I've been off for a week, so just rambling on about the last couple of weeks. Well, last week.
So people stay here. It will redirect over. When you get there, make sure you hit the like button. Even if it's not live yet, make sure you hit the like button. That'll help push it out to other people and subscribe to the channel. I will be back at some point tomorrow with I'll probably go after the game and give a match reaction. I'm not going to be in the best moods because Huey, you know what we have to do after we lose? Go on rival channels and get cooked for it.
Let's get on the booze now. Let's get on the booze.
Probably, well, I'm trying to not, but yeah.
It'll just be you, Daps. Me and Hugh will be at the game. We'll be like, we're not worried.
Yeah, I'm going on that out, Manchester. Me, I'm not going on any YouTube.
Yeah, I ain't going.
Hugh will be that paralytic. He'll wake up in the morning and go, "What was the score?"
Yeah, that's been me loads of times, man. It's brilliant, but now you know what I mean. Nowadays,
I hear it. Well, enjoy it, both of you. Enjoy it, the both of you, and everyone that's watching this. If you're watching this back, by the way, please make sure that you drop a comment. Not in the live chat. Anyone in the live chat, make sure that you also get involved in the comments as well. Afterwards, smash a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again to all my guests, and we will catch up soon. Oh, and by the way, last thing, anyone that wants to become a mod, get in contact with me and I'll set that up for you. Peace.